Top 10 Shocking Facts About Napoleon Bonaparte. Truths You Never Knew. Introduction. Napoleon Bonaparte is one of the most iconic and controversial figures in world history. Known for his military genius, political ambition, and meteoric rise from obscurity to Emperor of France, his life was nothing short of extraordinary. But beyond the grand battles and political reforms lies a man full of contradictions, secrets, and unbelievable facts. In this video, we're diving deep into the top 10 most shocking facts about Napoleon, things you likely never learned in school. Prepare to challenge what you thought you knew about the man who changed Europe forever. Let's begin. 1. Napoleon was not actually short straight ruler. One of the most persistent myths about Napoleon is that he was extremely short. In fact, this rumor was British wartime propaganda. At the time of his death, Napoleon's height was recorded as 5 feet 2 inches, but that was using French inches, which are longer than British ones. In modern measurements, he was around 5 feet 6 or 7 inches, 1.68 to 1.70 m, average height for a man of his time. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking. The phrase, Napoleon complex, is based on a falsehood that painted him as compensating for being small. In truth, he stood shoulder to shoulder with most European men. 2. He was once attacked by Bunny's rabbit. Yes, seriously. One of the oddest incidents in Napoleon's life came after a military campaign when his staff organized a rabbit hunt to celebrate. They released hundreds of tame rabbits into a field. But instead of fleeing, the rabbits charged toward Napoleon and his men, expecting food. The scene became chaotic, and Napoleon reportedly had to retreat to his carriage in defeat. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking. The conqueror of Europe was once overrun by a fluffy bunny army. 3. Napoleon wrote a romance novel. Open book. Red Heart. At just 26 years old, Napoleon wrote a romantic novella titled Clisson et Eugenie. The story is partly autobiographical and centers around a noble soldier and his love for a woman named Eugenie. The novel remained unpublished during his lifetime but was discovered and published in the 20th century. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking. We remember Napoleon as a cold, calculating strategist, but he also had a poetic and sensitive side. 4. He was not actually born French. France crossmark. Napoleon was born in Corsica in 1769, just a year after it was acquired by France. At the time of his birth, Corsicans still considered themselves separate from the French. Napoleon spoke Italian as his first language and didn't learn French until later in childhood. Even then, he always spoke French with a heavy Corsican accent. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking. The ultimate French emperor was, by cultural standards, not really French at all. 5. Napoleon once staged a coup on himself. Stop sign counterclockwise arrows button. In 1804, Napoleon made himself Emperor of France. But what's unusual is how he did it. Instead of a military takeover, he staged a legal coup with a constitutional amendment, then held a referendum, which overwhelmingly supported him. To top it off, at his coronation, he took the crown from the Pope's hands and crowned himself. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking. It was a masterclass in optics. He maintained the appearance of legality while seizing ultimate power. 6. He was a workaholic who slept very little. 3 o'clock. Napoleon famously only slept about 4 hours per night. He worked late into the night and rose early, often dispatching multiple letters and decrees before dawn. His stamina became legendary. Even during military campaigns, he functioned on minimal rest. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking. His success wasn't just about genius, it was about relentless, almost obsessive work ethic. 7. He escaped from exile, and reclaimed power without a fight. Desert island. Right arrow crown. After being exiled to the island of Elba in 1814, most assumed Napoleon's career was over. But less than a year later, he escaped, landed on the French coast, and began marching north to Paris. As he approached, army after army sent to arrest him instead joined him. By the time he reached Paris, he was once again emperor, without firing a single shot. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking: he went from exile to emperor in 100 days, purely through charisma and reputation. 8. He revolutionized the modern legal system balance scale. Napoleon's greatest lasting legacy may not be military, it's legal. He developed the Napoleonic Code, a legal framework that emphasized civil rights, property law, and equality under the law. Today, many countries, including Italy, Germany, and even parts of the US, still base elements of their legal systems on the Napoleonic Code. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking: the man known for war created one of the most influential peacetime documents in history. 9. His death was surrounded by mystery and conspiracy. Skull and crossbones. Napoleon died in 1821 while in exile on the remote island of St. Helena. Officially, the cause was stomach cancer. However, later tests on strands of his hair revealed high levels of arsenic, leading many to believe he may have been poisoned. Historians remain divided, but the possibility of foul play adds another layer of intrigue to his dramatic life. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking: even in death, Napoleon couldn't escape controversy. 10. His influence is still everywhere today. Globe showing Europe, Africa. From military tactics to street names, from statues to school textbooks, Napoleon's presence is still felt across the globe. The Napoleonic Code influenced global law. His military strategies are taught in war colleges. His image is iconic, even featured in video games, cartoons, and memes. White heavy checkmark. Why it's shocking: a man born in obscurity on a tiny island remains one of the most powerful cultural figures in human history. Conclusion. Napoleon Bonaparte was more than a general, more than an emperor, he was a phenomenon. These 10 shocking facts reveal a complex, ambitious, and often contradictory figure whose life story continues to captivate the world. Megaphone. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. Bell. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to FactPulse for more untold truths from history, science, and beyond. Until next time, stay curious. Brain.